going to be expository. It is going to be, should I say, an expose on the mindset of the Fulani Janweed in the zoo and those who are working for them from the south. After this broadcast this evening, if you do not wish to see an end to the damnable zoological Republic of Nigeria, believe you me, you are even less of an animal than I had thought before. Those in Abuja and in Lagos, foolishly spending the best years of their lives in another man's land. This is also for you this evening. You have heard this clip before, some of you 1,000 times over. But this evening we want to bring a fresh meaning and perspective into what this very Janweed said very many years ago, before now. Before Biafra, Ujuku's Biafra, I should say, and now before the Biafra of IPOB. What this man had to say predates the 1966 coup. What this man had to say predates all the difficulties and problems that have bedeviled the Zoological Republic till date. I want you to understand something this evening. I want to prove to the whole world, because I know that the British, those that run the zoo, the British High Commissioner, Katrina Lang, is a woman, a white woman, US ambassador, all the diplomats that are listening, because anytime we broadcast, the whole world comes to a standstill. They all listen. They are listening this evening. And I will encourage them to also bring their pen and their paper ready, please. I want to prove beyond every conceivable doubt that Fulani is the problem of Nigeria. Fulani started the problem of Nigeria from day one. Over the years, they toned down their rhetoric. They moderated their behavior. Now they have come into battle with AK-47 and their Nama, their cows. You have listened to this clip 1 billion times over. This was the clip I played in the year 2015 that led the late Buhari, because Buhari is dead, the late dead Buhari, to comment about Radio Biafra. To say that they will ban Radio Biafra because of this very clip I'm about to play now. And I want you to come to this broadcast this evening with an unbiased mind. Come very clean and clear, that God Almighty may judge you justly. I am going to play this very clip for you. And upon this very clip and what this man said, are we going to base our discussions and analysis this very evening, morning, noon or night, depending on where you are. Listen very carefully, I beg of you, please. It's very, very important. And as I'm doing so, please, somebody should endeavor to put it on my page. In fact, on all the platforms, that the world may know that we are not the aggressors, that the world may know that Fulani people are troublemakers. Fulani people never wanted Nigeria to work from day one. Fulani people, they are the bane that Nigeria is backward today, is down to only one group of people, the Fulani tribe. When I say it now, I know that Kadira Muhammad will say this was what obtained in Rwanda in places and things happen, and they say it's pure rubbish. What we are presenting this evening are facts and figures. Please listen very carefully, especially Efulefus from Igbo land. Listen very well. All the idiots talking against Biafra, listen very carefully. All the idiots campaigning for one Nigeria, one zoo, listen very carefully, please, to understand how foolish you are. I have now come away from blaming Britain and Europe for coming to Africa, bastardizing, balkanizing, dividing, and rendering us asunder, all of us, and giving us artificial boundaries, which we accepted because we are very daft. I want to bring the problem a closer home. I want to bring the issues closer to you this evening, especially for those of you who are in Nigeria, to understand the depth of your stupidity and your foolishness. I'm not insulting you. I'm only giving you facts that will guide you away from darkness into the light, which we are pointing you towards. Listen carefully, please.
Major talks about killing your premier. Add on top of that the North's
Listen.
hate of the East, and you can start to get the picture of the sort of tribal tension Nigeria was heading towards.
One thing I've noticed, Premier, while I've been here, is that Northerners seem to have, I might almost call it obsession about the Igbos. Could you perhaps explain that to me?
Well, the Igbos are more or less the type of people whose desire is mainly to dominate everybody. If they go to a village, to a town, they want to monopolize everything in that area. If you put them in a labor camp as a laborer, within a year they will try to emerge as headman of that camp, and so on. Well, in the past, our people were not alive to their responsibilities, because you can see from our northernization policy that in 1952, when I came here, there weren't 10 northerners in our civil service here. Then I tried to have it northernized, and now all important posts are being held by northerners.
Is this policy of filling all key posts in the north solely with northerners and not with other Nigerians a temporary or permanent one?
In actual fact, what it is a northerner first. If you can't get a northerner, then we take an expatriate like yourself on contract. If we can't, then we can employ another Nigerian, but on contract too. This is going to be permanent, I should say, as far as I can foresee, because it would be rather dangerous to see the number of boys who are now turning from all our learning institutions coming out with having no work to do. I'm sure whichever government of the day might be, it will feel rather embarrassed, and it might even lead to bloodshed.
Doesn't this damage the idea, sir, of all people in all regions in Nigeria being fellow citizens of one country?
Well, it might, but you are, new to our region, but how many northerners are employed in the east or in the west? The answer is no. And if there may be 10 laborers employed only.
I hope you have listened to, that is the voice of the man that Buhari was emulating when he came into office. Buhari was following the footsteps of this very man you've listened to now. He was the Sadwana of Sokoto, the leader of the Northern Nigeria People's Congress. He was the leader of the North. Anytime you have a Janweed say their founding fathers, they were referring to this very man. You just heard his voice now. He was interviewed, should I say, rather bizarrely, independently, so to speak, by a BBC journalist. I believe that was in the late 50s to early 60s. These are the people responsible, so we are told, for bringing the so-called, should I say, flag independence to Nigeria. Anytime you hear, be the Senate President or anybody from the northern part of the zoo, talk about their founding fathers, they were talking about this man. And this man was asked a question by a white man. The interviewer is a white man working for the BBC. They asked this black man, this very baboon in a zoo, his name is Sir Ahmad Bello. He was knighted by the Queen of England, Queen Elizabeth. Understand this very clearly. That is why I said it is better for you to bring your pen and paper this evening. Even if you don't come to lectures again without a pen and paper, it's better for this evening you must have one. Very, very critical, please. This man, alongside Awolowo and Azikiwe, and to an extent, Tafawa Balewa, they were responsible, so to speak, for forging the new Nigeria that Britain had created. It was in 1960. After independence. And he was asked a simple question, a very simple question. Why do you hate Igbo people so much? These are Fulani people. I want Okezibazo, I want Hope Uzodema, I want all of them to, I want Wike, I want them to pay attention this evening. I want Ohanes and Andioshi, George Obioso, pay very particular attention, because what this man said in late 50s and early 1960s is still prevalent today in our lives. And I'm going to prove it to you this evening, one after the other. The man asked him, in other words, this is where I get upset with Katrina Lang and the so-called British mission in Nigeria. Britain is aware, because this is a BBC journalist interviewing a Fulani leader. when there was no strife, there was no war, there was no problem, when they were planning and creating their useless one Nigeria, please pay attention, please. Pay attention, please, to understand how foolish we came, to understand how foolish to understand how foolish anybody talking about one Nigeria. I want to prove to you tonight, heaven is my witness, that the person is a fool, especially if you're a Biafran. They asked this man, and when they talk about Igbos in those days, they're talking about everybody from the East. In fact, to an extent, even including the West. These are the people they claim that created one Nigeria for us. These are the people they call their founding fathers. That is why after this broadcast this evening, I do not think that Nigeria can ever be the same again. They asked him, why do you hate the Igbos? At the time that this question was being asked, there was no Fulani headsman problem, no banditry, no insurgency. There was no problem. There was euphoria all over the world that the largest black nation had emerged. That they call Nigeria. And this is one of the leaders, one of the leading lights of that very period of history of Africa, so to speak. And what he started with was hatred for Biafrans. In other words, for a BBC journalist to ask Ahmadu Bello, why is it that Fulani people are obsessed with the hatred for Igbo people? What I'm telling you that didn't happen yesterday. Please, I don't want you to, do not misquote me or misunderstand me. This happened many, many years ago as Nigeria was being formed. They asked him, why do you hate Igbo people so much? Not only that, the man asked him, why do you have an obsession? Is a type of madness. In other words, BBC of all people, BBC and by extension the British government knew from day one that Fulani had an obsession against Igbo people and will kill them. That will. They knew it. Everybody knew it. But Azikiwe decided to keep quiet about it. The same thing that Igbo governors, Eastern governors, Biafran leaders are doing today. That is why we are in the mess we are in. Because this is the person who founded, co-founder of the new Nigeria that Britain had created. He is the Fulani leader. It was because of the death of this man that we lost 5 million people between 67 to 70. It was because of the death of this man that Gowon declared war on Biafran people. It was because of the death of this man, that was why Aburi never stood. The agreement reached between Ojukwu and Gowon never stood a chance of working because the Fulanis were hell-bent on avenging the death of this man. I'm going to play his voice once again, and I want people to please try and determine for themselves if by killing this man, Nzogu had done anything wrong. It was Nzogu that killed him, because Nzogu was a Nigerianist. Nzogu was a patriot. Nzogu felt that what this man, I want to let the world understand what led to the war, and why Britain said that Nigeria must go to war against Biafra. You must pay attention this evening. I'm begging you. I'm going to play his voice again. Before he started, I provided an intro, kind of a voiceover, for you to understand, so that what is happening today with Fulani Janjaweedism, banditry, the hatred, the fact that when this regime of Buhari came in 2015, their plan was a northernization agenda. What this northernization means that a Fulani man will occupy every position of importance in Nigeria. This thing was said over 60 years ago, but in 2015, when Buhari was, they implemented it, they're still implementing it to this very day. That is why I feel sorry for the South, by which I mean the East and the West. I even want my Yoruba brethren who are listening to pay very close attention. I want them to understand the mess everybody's in the South. I want them to begin to appreciate the level of trickery, the level of takia, the level of deception the Fulanis are willing to deploy in order to conquer you, both spiritually and physically. Because as at the time this man said this very thing, when they say I hate Fulani, I don't hate anybody. It was Fulani that hated me first. They did not just hate me first. They have consistently hated me. Are you listening to me? Now I'm going to play it again. Listen to the intro and you listen to the voice of the man they claim created Nigeria. And you will understand from what he's saying, it is what APC is implementing today. APC, Fulani Party. Fulani Party of bandits and terrorists. That's what they said. Northernization agenda. The North first. And some of you may be wondering, why is it that Fulani has this hatred for Igbo people? I want Exposeose to pay very close attention. I want Ohaneze Ndiara and Ndioshi to pay attention. I want every Efulefu to listen very carefully. You may be wondering, why is it for no reason we were not at war in late 50s and early 60s? Nothing was wrong. We did nothing to Fulani. A Fulani leader, the leader of the Fulani people, the leader of the entire North, came out to say, we hate Igbo people. And he gave the interview to BBC. Now, how can you blame me for hating them? I don't even hate them. I'm only trying to fight them or stop them from killing our people. That's what I'm doing. I want to tell you that what they are planning, what the plan of APC today was what Ahmadu Bello has scripted down. I said that was why in 2003, 2011, is it 2003, 2007, 2011, Buhari kept contesting. People never knew the reason why Buhari overthrew the government of Shagari. Buhari, this is his mentor. His hero is the Sadwana. If you listen to him when he was alive, if any of you paid any attention to what Buhari was saying, Buhari kept saying that they killed Sadwana, that they killed Sadwana. That's his hero. The reason why Sadwana hated the Igbo people was because the East was the only part that their type of Islam never got to. You may think it's about politics and economic development. It's because the Fulani sword and Quran got into Yoruba land. The Fulani sword and Quran decimated the entire Middle Belt. The Fulani sword and Quran got into even up to Upper Benue. They never made it to the East. That is their anger till tomorrow morning. And they will never stop. I want Wike, I want Osodemba, I want all these idiots, I want Ohaneze Ndiara and Ndioshi to pay very close attention. The reason why they keep telling you every day, stay in one Nigeria, do what you can, is because they want to conquer you. It's their job, it's in their bone marrow, it's in their DNA. This is a man who is a nationalist. The most painful thing is that Britain knew about all these things, but they kept quiet. Britain never said anything. Britain kept quiet. I want to play it for you again. This is the leader of the Fulani people. I want to tell you that the hatred they are pouring out today, the reason why Buhari can form a government and there is no Igbo man in it, the reason why they can be doing all the nonsense they are doing, customs or not, EFCC not, is because it is a grand plan. And I want you to compare and contrast the behavior of Fulani politicians with that of the idiots from your village in the south. Do you see how the Fulanis laid down a template? Not just a template of political domination, but a template of complete and total annihilation of every indigenous ethnic group in Nigeria. What APC is carrying out today was laid down before even 1960. They have been pursuing that same agenda, year in, year out. But some of you are too blind to understand what lies in front of you. This evening, we are exposing them that the world may understand, that the world may know why we are doing what we are doing. I'm going to play it for you once again. Please pay very close attention. And this time around, I'm going to interrupt. As they proceed, I will interrupt to analyze